So if you remember from the last video, we sprayed this down with some penetrating lube just to keep the rust off of it. So we'll brake clean all that off. That'll come off real quick. We'll dry it up. We'll tape up spots we're going to tape. There's going to be some spots we're not going to tape, but it doesn't matter. It's all going to be cleaned up anyway. A little bit of overspray is not going to hurt anything. So we'll continue on what the theme of the job is, and it'll be fine. Alright guys, keep the theme of the build here. I got some primer and some dark blue that have been in my storage shelf for like 5 years. They might spray, but let's just fog this thing down. I'm gonna throw some earplugs and some of the thread holes. I'm not gonna mask off some things we would normally mask, but I gotta surface them anyway. With a, alright, let's be honest, probably use a flat wheel disc. As you know, we're reusing the pistons and the crank and the rods from the 460. But first, we gotta clean them up. So this is what we're gonna do. We'll get the bulk of the carbon off, so I get the rings off. We're gonna soak it in some regular old apple cider vinegar. I'm gonna soak it overnight. I really want to preheat things up. So, the wrist in there. What we're going to do is we're going to put them in the bucket. We're going to fill them up just so we can get those rings unseized. Then I'm going to use some Berryman's Chem Dip. We're not going to soak it in this as long, but we'll do this in the morning. So tonight we're going to fill this up. We're going to let it sit overnight. Tomorrow morning we'll pull them out individually, let them soak in the bucket, because this will get a lot of the dirt and crud off, but it's not as aggressive. And then we'll step it up individually, because you only do one at a time, in the 1 gallon bucket, and soak it in this, not a whole lot of elbow grease, these things will look brand new. So for me, it'll be overnight and then most of the day tomorrow. But for you, it'll be right now. Alright guys, it's been about 24 hours or so. We've had the pistons soaked in apple cider vinegar. We'll take them off, we'll clean them up, see how that worked for 24 hours. And then we'll throw it in the chem dip. Like I said, I've used chem dip a lot. They're gonna come out looking pretty good. You can only do one piston at a time, so that part kind of sucks. But other than that, it's gonna do a great job. So I really like Berryman stuff. This is just a stiff bristled brush. Nothing abrasive at all. That way I can see what the actual apple cider vinegar did. Got a bucket of water. All right. So both these rings were stuck. The top ring still is, but this second ring is pretty loose. The oil ring's still stuck. But with that being said, a lot of this crap came off. I think if this thing was sitting for a little bit longer, another day or so, eventually these rings would have got unstuck. All right, let's see if I can use a pick and get them out. These things were pretty daggone stuck. Came out with minimum effort. I really think if these things would have sat another day or so, it would have freed it up. But until then, I'm going to wipe this down, get some of the loose crap off, stick it in the chem dip bucket, and show you guys what the after looks like. I've had this for years, so one of the best things I've done using it is to get most of the crap off that you can loosely get off. Things that are actually stuck, it'll do its job getting it off. It won't fill this up full of a bunch of junk that you didn't have to throw in there. So we'll let this sit for about 20-30 minutes and we'll check on it. They say aluminum maximum 4 hours, and it'll start to kind of mess with it, I guess. But we shouldn't need that long at all. Should be 15-20 minutes. Wipe most of that crap off of there. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes or so. Oh yeah. I love this stuff. I've had this stuff for years. I've had this stuff for a long time. And still, it amazes me at how potent it is. I didn't even touch it. So I'm just gonna hit it with this toothbrush to knock some stuff loose. I'll rinse it off in the bucket of water, and then I'm gonna spray it down with some lube, sit it in a bucket so I get some oil dumped in it. So I'm gonna dump them all in a bucket of oil. But yeah, let's brush this off real quick and I'll show you. Wipe it off with a dirty rag. Really works very well. I'm telling you, this stuff works great. You really see the before and after on the carbon buildup here on the rod. It really loosened up. This wrist pin. I mean, if you remember before, they were all seized. I love this stuff. All right, I got 8 more to do, and they're all the same, so you won't have to suffer through that. All right, guys, here it is. We got everything cleaned up. We got our main caps, rod caps cleaned up, pistons all cleaned up, rods are free, crank's cleaned up. I'm gonna go over it one more time, but other than that, in the next video, we've thrown this thing together. So I gotta get out of here. I gotta head to my day job, unfortunately, but until next time, have fun with it.